Welcome back to Headspace Woodworking. I hope everybody's actually finding their place now. They can understand how having a little bit of headspace, somewhere to go, something to do, can help. Today's project, it's one for us again. It's one for the workshop. Today's project, we're going to be making a marking gauge. You'll have used them in woodworking at school and you'll have seen them about and you'll have seen them used. Very easy build. Well, I'm saying easy. One or two things might have gone a little bit wrong, but you'll see. This is what we're starting off with. A couple of offcuts of mahogany and a piece of old oak flooring that we're going to mill down and use in our project today. Now that the oak's milled down, I've milled it down to the same thickness as the mahogany, and you'll see why in a moment. Now with the piece of block mahogany, we'll put these out of the way first. So with the block mahogany we need to find our square. So again, reaching for the square. That's nice and square there. That's nice and square there. So measuring off, I can use my ruler. We're wanting this to be 72 mil. 72 millimeters. We will mark. However, we're going to use this as well, so we're going to place that onto the mark. And mark across. Now I'll take that over to the chop saw and get it cut down. Now that's cut down to our dimensions, we want to cut it down again. We're going to cut it in half. So that is 52. 25, allowing for the curve of the blade, so we'll go on the 25 mark. And we'll cut that down again. Now we have two smaller blocks. As you can see, my blade is dull and it charred that a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Now what we're going to do is just give them a little clean up. And we can now mark leave that a little proud just for a moment. Cut our middle block again. I'll go and cut that. Now what we need is our centre pillar. I'm going to use this longer bit of mahogany. I'm going to mark the width of our oak floor, or a piece of oak. And then I'm going to mark it this way. And now we know how the square of the centre bit. I'll cut that on the tables. Now what that gives us is our square handle. Now if I place that in like so, it's perfectly sized. So this needs to be cut down once again in half, allowing for the bits on the other. But first of all, what we need to do is we need to mark the centre so we know where it is, and we use this with our 45-degree square. And my pencil through that way. That way. That gives us our centre. We need to cut down. There we are, cut in half. Placing the centre stick in the middle, ensuring that we have plenty of space for it to move. Like so. And now all we need to do is glue that up. Dab of glue, dab of glue. Very quick spread. It doesn't take a lot of glue. And we rub. Wet wipe. Make sure they lined up nicely. And ensure that our handle is going to slide freely. Now we want this to be a little tighter there is again dot of glue, dot of glue. Respread and place that in. The top on, that can now come out. Now that needs clamped together. You have multiple choices of clamping. You can use like so this, if it fits, a bit of tape, elastic band, but I'm going to use a couple of quick clamps. So F clamps, as you might see. There we are. Wipe off any excess glue. And with the centre bit, take your wet wipe, place it over the end, to get rid of any excess glue in there. Now we'll leave that to one side to dry. And now we're going to work on the bit that does the marking. Now what we need for this is we need something pointy. I have loads of them. They're called screws and nails. Now we have a selection here, and I would like to see something not too big, but then we don't want it too small either. I think that would be perfect. Now if we try and drive that through there now, what that's going to do is just split the wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take it down right at the very end. I'm going to use it That's it. I'm going to take it down about a finger width. Yeah, I'm going to take it down about a finger width in the middle. Nice and gently. take it through the end. Square it up a little bit. And there we are. We have what actually does the marking on the end. And no, I'm not sponsored by. It's just the biggest cup I could find. Now, after a nice cup of tea and possibly 2 or maybe 3 hobnobs, all I've done is give that a quick rub down with a bit of sandpaper just to smooth it off. And now we can take this out of clamps and see if she's stuck. There we are, stuck solid. Move them out of the way. Now what we need is something that's going to stop that just sliding backwards and forwards. So what I'm going to use is an old adjustable foot off an old chair or something. I actually got this new. You can get them on Amazon, they're very inexpensive. But what we're going to do is drill a hole for the threaded part to go through the centre. Finding a suitable drill bit that would take out the centrepiece, that's just too small. I might have to ream that a little bit. In fact, yeah, I'll take this over to mark up first. So we'll mark up the centre using the 45s. And a pencil. There we are. We've marked up the centre, and we'll take it over onto the drill press and drill a hole, but we're not going right the way through, we're only going through to the centrepiece. Okay, once we have our hole the size we need for the insert, what I'm going to do is just line it up, give it a quick tap with fine adjusting tool, and I'm going to use the vise to squeeze it into position. and I've broken it. But nothing that can't be fixed. As you can see, by forcing that in, I've actually broken and snapped that bit off. So again, we will get our glue. Oh, far too much. I can sort this out in the editing. Just one or two clamps to try and fix my mistake, but I'm sure nothing to see here, nothing to see. Go away, go away. Wee cup of tea, just a wee one. I've no hobnobs left. Okay, we take it back out of clamps, and once again we will check that slide in. Oh, lovely, that's lovely. Oh, it's a bit tight there. Bit of sanding required, methinks, but we've got to clean this up anyway. So clean up time, sanding. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of that heavier sanding paper and we're going to stick it down with some double-sided tape. Just stick it to the bench. So. And give it a good stick to the bench. And taking our block, you can actually see where the high spots are and the low spots are on the sandpaper. Okay, after doing all of that sanding by hand, I've just added a little bit of shape to it. That's all I've done. The only place that really needs to be flat is the surface and face, which is the bit that you actually take your reference from. Now, get rid of that. Now, we use our little foot. Screw in. All that does, just tightens onto your mark, and you can use it to scribe. Now, all that's needed, bit of finish, and we're done. And there we have it, one carpenter's marking gauge. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be? No. Have you achieved something today? Yes, we have. We have taken some offcuts of wood and made it into a useful tool. That, to me, I would call productive. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it, leave a comment, and if you wish, it's up to you, subscribe. Apparently these all help promote these kind of videos. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again. And remember, give yourself somewhere so you can have your own headspace.